Alright, what's going on, everybody? This is Juan from the Yacht coming to you today with my 6th place Lubbock regional deck profile. You can catch this deck profile on Imco 40's channel or on Bortles' channel. Just wanted to upload it on my channel, get it out there for my own name. Let y'all know what I played and just give a little bit more in depth of why I played what I played and why I thought it was going to be good. Versus just dropping cards on the board and letting people know that, hey, this was a really good deck, versus actually letting them know, hey, this is why I chose this and this is why I do consider this still the best deck. This is the first big event I've taken it to. Since I've actually theorized this deck, I didn't get it from nobody else. You can't find this probably nowhere else on the internet now except for me. So just want to let y'all know this is what I played. It's a Runick Sprite with a small Nimble engine in it, and then like one Ghostrick card that results in a really nasty end board. Let's go ahead and get into it. First of all, before we get into it, I want to give a shout out to my sponsors at Yellow City Gaming. Thank you, Adam, and everybody else who let me borrow cards. I do appreciate it. It helps out tremendously. You guys have no idea how much easier it is to play this game having a good sponsor. First, we're going to start off with 3 blues. Shout out to the sponsor, Ulti Blues. Then we go 2 jet. We decided to bump the jet to 2. A lot of people are playing 1. 3 is too many. 2 is like perfect. All these cards, blue and jet, are starters in every single way. They get you to 3 bodies basically. So why not run them? And then we run the one of each of the little negates. These cards overperformed this weekend. They are amazing. A lot of people just really have no answer to them, and Carrot's the MVP out of these 2, just because you have freezing curses, and then you have the card in the extract that I'll show you later. And this just does everything for the deck. But red, don't underestimate red. He's really solid. And then we have these to wrap out the Sprite cards. Double starters, it's at 2. We would play more if we could. Card single-handedly gets you blue, jet, and then jet will get you another starter, will get you another negate on your opponent's turn, or it'll get you the smashers. Smashers is underrated. Great one of, way better than double cross. Double cross is only a trap, so I don't really like that. Then we play the Nimble package right here. This engine is absolutely amazing. Gets you 1 from deck or grave. Summons 2 if it's discarded from the hand or sent from deck. So a lot of times I would just discard the Hugin, would discard this. Basically just, what would you rather stop, a fountain or 3 bodies in case, because you have a fountain, you have a Hugin and then 2 more beavers, which results in 3 bodies. And this deck just tries to summon as many level 2s as possible, and then basically just tears you up by summoning as many level 2s as you can, and then your opponent has absolutely no answers to any of that. So I'll show you the combo later. Basically just any 2 cards, kind of. The last summonable monster is Capshell. I really love this over Ibly, over basically any other level 2 in the deck. There's not another level 2 that does what this does. Basically draws you a card for basically anything possibly ever that could happen to this card. It basically draws you a card. You can revive this off Muckraker. One time I just revived this off Muckraker and then made the anti-Zeus, and then discarded or detached, bounced a card, drew a card, and then it drew me, I think, into like a tip or something, and I was golden. Now we're going to go to the hand traps. We play 3 Ash, 3 Imperm, double droplet. This was good all day. Like I said in the first time, these were probably the worst 2 cards in my deck, and that's saying a lot, because these cards are actually pretty good. And for me to feel like they were the worst card in the deck is pretty nuts. But yeah, I'd always discard this off Hugin going first. Going second, I really never have very many implications other than just negating a couple cards. Like I said, you can send the Angler. You can do a lot. But, I mean, this card is actually good. It's just I might have... It was my 41st and 42nd card. I'm not sure if I'd play it again, but as it stands, it did really well. Then we're going to go with the best engine in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now. The Runick engine. Double Fountain. This card's by far the best card in the game. Basically the second best Runick card in the game. Tip adds, lets you see what your opponent's playing. Freezing Curse is the imperm. Flashing Flyer, it's the pop. And then this card is Knots too, the Freezing Runick Destructions, the MST, and the banishes 4. I think I stopped like 20 continuous cards, field spells, and all this other crazy stuff, and then they lose 4 off the top of their deck. I think I freezing or destructions like 6 times in a game. I would just tip search it, drew 1 back, and then tip search another one, pop it, drew it again, and it was absolutely insane. We're gonna go to 2 slumbers and 1 dispelling. Like I said in the video, I don't really like Slumber. It does kind of nothing, but it's still a Runick name. And it still can be activated. It's probably the only card that you can activate turn 1 going first to target a monster, and it can be destroyed. So it has that first effect that you can actually activate it instead of summoning a monster. So we do run 2 of it still. And we do run the 1 dispelling. It's just another name that you can activate turn 1. You hardly ever hit a card out of your opponent's hand. But it is in a different Runick name, so it adds in a different Runick name versus having the 3rd Slumber and drawing 3 Slumbers and not being able to activate it. Which does happen. You do draw 2 of each sometimes, and you just discard them, or you just keep them because they're all actually interruptions. So I don't ever mind drawing 2. And then the best card in the deck, Runick Shot. Nobody ever stopped this. Nobody ever knew what it even did. Every Ghostrick card I dropped on the board got read like by every single player. Which is really important, but the fact of the matter is they just saw it, and they had no idea what it went to, what idea the result end board was going to look like, so they weren't going to waste it trying to stop a shot versus trying to stop a blue, a jet, a gigantic, sprint. There was just so many other good cards that my opponent thought they were going to stop afterwards, but they didn't know where the Ghostrick engine was even going, so just the element of surprise was really good. Nobody had any idea what the Ghostrick shot actually did, so it was really nice. Onto the extra deck now. We run the 2 Hugin, the 1 Jerry, and the 1 Sleipnir. You summon 2 every single game. Like, honestly, you could probably even run a 3rd, but the extra deck is really tight. So tight that I had to cut a lot of good cards that I can't even run no more, but it worked out. The Jerry, it's the going second card. You go to your 1 battle phase, pop a card. Get against a tier limit player, if they mill your fountain, you just get it back and then still pop a card. He can't be short by card effects, so it's really nice. The Sleipnir is basically your Little Knight in Runick form. During your main phase or your opponent's battle phase, you banish 2 cards, or banish himself and another card. And if they add a card from their deck to your hand, you get a token the exact same level as him, 15/15, level 9. So really good. Makes a body, you can set it up with a Sprint after you use him to banish a card if your opponent adds, and then it's really good. So I really like this card. It's I think everybody had to read this card too. Next we run Sprite Sprint. This is definitely the combo starter. It basically starts all your combos. Basically dumps the Angler, gets you 2 free bodies. And then I love to leave Sprint on my end board. And if you use your Gigantic to link off for the Masquerena, you can just leave him there. And you can detach from the big XCs I'm about to show you here in a second to detach from XCs and bounce a card. And a lot of people kind of forgot about that. The IP Masquerena, this card's no needs to be explained. It's basically in everybody's deck. The SP Little Knight. I try to tell a lot of people that this deck kind of doesn't need Little Knight going first because the deck is like absolutely insane. Like the boards really don't get broken if you resolve everything going first. But even so, this combo is still absolutely insane. But Little Knight was used way more going second off of like trying to break boards to just pick apart and then make this. This with Gigantic, I'd summon the Cap Shell and then I'd link the Gigantic plus the Cap Shell into this. Chain Link 1, Chain Link 2 Cap Shell, draw a card, banish a card, and then it was just really nice. The Muckraker, it can revive the Cap Shell. It can revive another card in the extra deck I'm about to show you later. So yeah, Muckraker is really good. I liked it. I'm not sure what I would play in place of it just because it was really good. It was a good link too. It allows you to basically just have infinite tributes off your Sprite monsters to give you a negate and then a draw. So I love that a lot. The Gigantic. This basically ties every engine in Yu-Gi-Oh! As far as level 2s together. So any level 2 engine is basically tied together by this one single card. This card is absolutely insane. There's really nothing else to say. The Gigantic is the best card in Sprite for level 2s. Now we're on to the engine. The Ghostrick engine, we play one Succubus. This card got read literally every single time. It has like some cute battle phase tricks, but obviously we're playing Runick, so we never battle. You get a drop of monster based on Ghostrick attacks on the field, so but we're never caring about that. This is the card that actually does something, Angel of Mischief. This is what searches the Ghostrick shot. So you just detach this and go search for a shot, and then you go shot to revive this from the graveyard, and then we lay the second one over top of that. Then we drop the Utopic Future, and right here, as soon as we drop the Utopic Future, basically everybody knew what was going on at that point. It was no longer a guessing game. But at that point, they cannot Ash, they cannot basically do anything else. The only answer they have is Nib right here. So if they do not Nib this card right here, then you win. And a lot of people didn't know what I was doing. So then once you got to this point right here, once the Draco Future hit the board, it was over. And I had a guy Ash me on my blue, like after I'd already resolved this. And I was like there's no point of stopping this at this point because you already have the Omni. So it was just really nice to be able to basically have a call by the grave after, before you start your turn, because I really like that. And then the one last card is this, the Anti-Zeus. It's 2900, negates 3000 bodies, in hand, on grave, on field. Really, really good card. Yeah, this card doesn't need any explaining. And it's a fiend, so you can bring it back with Mock Wrecker. So you can just bring it back, have another body, because this deck does struggle with bodies. But honestly, yeah, that's basically it for the main deck. And the reason why I chose this, a lot of people say that's like a 5-card engine. Yeah, you're right, it is 5 cards. So what would you run besides this? You have to run the Djinn Buster, which I do not like. You have to run the Soul Sweeper, which banishes a card I do not like. You can run a second Little Knight, you can run a second Gigantic, and you can run the Mannequin Cat. Or you can run one of the Runick cards for time, but it doesn't matter. Like, all these cards are great. This engine was absolutely insane. I never once regretted running that engine. Every time it resolved, I won the game, so I'm not going to throw any shade at it. Next, we're going to go to our side. We run 3 Joels. This card is nice. Basically stops like 40-50% of the decks in our format right now. 2 DD Crow, this might be 3. I really like this card. Being able to hit the Pearly cards, being able to hit a tier card, being able to even hit an Unchained card was really, really nice. So I might up this to 3, I just don't know what to take out yet. Then you run the 1 Chaos Hunter and the 1 Mannequin Cat. So as you know, I told you the extra really tight, so we did have to cut 1 spot in our side for the Mannequin Cat, but it's okay. The card is nuts. So basically it makes Flu a buy, it makes the Cash a buy, which I did play 1 Cash today, and it was a really, really difficult matchup, but our side deck was really clutch, so yeah, we got to run the Mannequin Cat. Next we run the Double Thrust, 1 Talents, and the 1 Herald of Abyss. This was for Pearly. This was also pretty good against the tier matchup. I sent 1 and then I Little Knight the other, and then basically that was it. This card's actually really good against Salad too. I didn't play it, but in testing, they have to either send the card or use the roar on it, so it's really, really good. Yeah, I mean, there's only 1 other card I put in, that's Lightning Storm. That's for the Rescue Ace matchup, but I don't know. I didn't play it. Lastly, we play the 3 Evenlies. Runick only gets 1 battle phase, so you just do this. And against Unchained, they hit on the big Caesar guy who can negate spells. So you just go like either draw phase, down by your main phase, activate a Runick card to summon, and they're probably going to negate that. So then you can just thrust right after, search evenly, and then just go into your 1 battle phase. And then you can activate your 2nd and 3rd Runick spell, or whatever combo pieces you have after that. But they'll force the pop, and they'll have to pop their own card, and then they still end on just the 1 Rage, and that's it. And they have 1 Rage versus ate the one Runick spell and the one evenly. So it is technically you still neg, but now all you have to do is bait one negate versus having to bait a negate, a pop, and a eat. Versus, so it's a little better. I did like evenly still. And the 1D barrier for the thrust package in case we got hand trapped. In theory, it was really good. I didn't side it in, not once, just because a lot of the dice rolls I lost. So if I did win game 1, I know I was going second game 2 anyways, and then a lot of my matchups, you'll see I just 2-0'd everybody. So in theory, this is really, really, really good versus Pearly versus Tier. Not that great against Unchained. Not that great against Rescue Ace either. Everybody's playing Lynx and Little Knight, so this card might be favoring itself out, but I don't know what else to play. There's one honorable mention I'd like to play. I wish I would have played this Scattershot against the one guy I tied the event. He won the event. He was playing cash. We tied, and basically if I had any time cards in my side main or anywhere, if I had a time card, I would have won. And I know the Red Resonator is slightly better, but this card you can actually send off the Sprint. So if you send Sprint and they hand trap it, then you can still just summon it off Gigantic and then link it away, and then just still get the effect. So there's basically 2 ways to summon this, or to send this to the graveyard properly and get its effect to burn for 500. The Red Resonator is technically better because you can summon it, target the Gigantic, and then gain 32. So you can actually still continue to play your full Sprite engine. You can start her for 11 or whatever, and then you can gain 32, so you still win. But this one's a little safer. You just have to take out both starters for this, and then something else randomly. But it's really good, and yeah, I wish I would have played this somewhere. I'm not sure where or when, but if I could have played this, I would have. Going forward, I'm going to play 1 copy of it. I guess I'll show you all a small combo, I guess, of what generally happens sometimes. You really don't need... I'll show you all 3 engines and what generally happens when you get to at least 1 or 2 of them. You can take the worst card. Let's say this. Yeah, we'll just use these 2. And we'll use the droplets. So you really don't need any of these engines here. You can take any monster in your deck, basically, as long as it's a level 2. It could be a blue or a beaver, and it could even be an angler, and you can just discard it off the Hugin to summon 2 more, which did happen a lot. So you just go draw phase, do this, summon Hugin. Hugin would discard this. This would summon 2 beavers. And then you would get your fountain. And even if this got ashed or something, like, it doesn't really matter. Fountain is a way more win more card than people really realize. I didn't really think it was needed at all in any of the combos. Fountain baited a lot of ashes, imperms, failures. So yeah, and then you just, first thing you do, you just go straight into the combo, and nobody has any idea what you're doing. You just drop the succubus, and then it gets red. You drop this, and you have to detach the succubus to search the shot, and then you just activate the shot to revive this one out, and you drop the second one, like I said, then you drop these on top for this, and right here you either get nibbed or they lose, and they can't ash anymore because you have nothing that you're about to ash, or they can't draw, they can't imperm. So, and I mean, they technically can still imperm in this combo, but any hand traps aside from imperm are done. So then you just, like I said, if you had blue, you're golden, but that does require, I mean, we opened Angler and we still got here, so you just need 1 more level 2. And what was really good about the Runick engine is you could just slap this, summon the second Hugin, not even use its effects. You would just shuffle 2 cards, and then you get to draw 2 more cards out. So right here is full right here. Let's just say we draw 2 droplets, shuffle the Slumber and the Dispelling back. We won't even need the blue technically. Then let's just say we have the double droplets plus 1 more card in our hand. We have no idea what that is. Plus we had 2 draws. These go straight to grave. And you can go Sprint. well, technically we don't have to go Sprint here since we did open the Angler, in which case you don't have the second Nimble. So you can just go Gigantic here, and then you're fine. You just Gigantic, detach the little one, and then now you get your blue. Blue will get you Jet, and Jet will get you a starter. And then you just make the IP board on top. And that's it. And you still have your Spell and Trap negate and 3 unknowns, because you would have the 2 draws off the fountain. Even if you didn't draw the fountain, you would have just 2 cards in hand plus a starter. So then essentially that's 1 negate. If it negated a hand trap as well, which I did get Ash a lot on like a blue or the Gigantic, this would just eat a hand trap. So they would essentially start with only 5 cards instead of 6. And then this is this will get you this. This is a negate and a destroy. And then sometimes you had a really, really good hand, and you'd have a little bit more negates in that. Or if you didn't open the Angler and you open like a Beaver plus 2 Runick spells, then you'd get this full board. Plus you'd have the Sprint on top. So your board would just basically look like this right here. Like this, and then you starter on your opponent's turn, which would give you the negate, the trap negate, and like I said, all these Runick cards are literally, the Runick cards are literally a pot of greed on your turn, and then they're a pot of greed on your opponent's turn. Only difference is on your turn they're bodies, on your opponent's turn they're interruptions. So if you have a Runick card in your hand besides the 2 Slumber and 1 Dispelling, they're all interruptions. Like really, really, really good interruptions. And then on top of that, there's still follow-up. So this is 1 negate, 2, 3 technically, 4, 5. And then whatever else you have in your hand, which will be 3 cards, could be Runick cards. And they result in more draws, which could be either Ash Blossoms, or if you have this set and you just draw into a bunch of random cards that you don't need, these turn into interruptions. So the deck has multiple interruptions. Even drawing 2 starters, you would activate the starter on your end phase, and then activate. A lot of people would just try to go to battle phase, and then I would save this and then just starter on my opponent's turn. Detach from the Gigantic here, and then bounce a card my opponent controls, and that would normally seal the deal. And if they had any monster effect, and a lot of people's board breakers are Fenrir going second, they would just summon Fenrir, and which Utopic Draco Future basically eats it, because if they activate Fenrir's effect, you just negate and steal it, and now the Fenrir is yours and it's live. So then when your opponent activates another monster effect, it steals it, or you basically get a banish card face down, then you can IP into Little Knight, banish another card, and then if your opponent activates a monster effect, banish another card with Little Knight. So it's absolutely insane. The fact that people are playing like enemy controller, this card is literally enemy controller and a negate during your turn, and a negate during your opponent's turn. Not very many Omni negates. Can't negate spelling traps. That's why we got Carrot here. Does it all for us. So Carrot was really MVP, knowing that we have a ton of monster negates, a monster bounce, and all the Runick cards are literally monster. This card was insane, just because a lot of people was on like tier limits, so it would blow up like the field spell, blow up like My Friend Pearly. Like I think My Friend Pearly never resolved against me, unless they went first. And every time, the best card against Pearly is Destruction, because every Pearly player is so greedy. They want to get the 4 draws, so they just go draw 2, and then I just blow this up. As soon as they activate the trap, game over. They have nothing but 2 draws, so I can eat through 2 or 3 hand traps very easily. Tip also really good against the Pearly matchup. Tip's good against every single matchup in Yu-Gi-Oh! So I would just draw phase Tip, search a Flashing Fire, and then basically I was winning. My opponent never had a chance to activate the trap. They were just hoping to draw 2, and as soon as they activated the trap, you just save the Flashing Fire, blow up their board, end of game, next game basically. So I guess we'll go through a small matchup report. So round 1, I played against Pearly, 2-0. That match was really good. We went close to time because our game 1 was really long, but I almost ended up decking him out. Game 2 was cash control. He had a small pantheism engine in there, so he drew a bunch of cards and ended on like the field spell that can't let you summon from the extra deck. But I have like flashing fire, freezing curses, and he ended on like Majesty's Fiend, so I can activate any effects. Great thing, I I have a ton of Runick cards, so yeah, I'm blessed. But that matchup was actually really insane. The cash control was really good. Round 3 was Unchained, 2-0. Had a good card for it. Evenly did really well. I think I won the die roll in that matchup, so I won it pretty fairly. Pearly, round 4 was 2-0 as well. Really, really good. Like I said, the DD Crows and the Flashing Fires and Tips were just amazing. I think I lost the die roll that match. I remember I tip phase, draw, going second, and he just lost. He drew 2 cards and then attempted to summon, and then he said, no, I have Street, you can't target it. And I said, that's the turn it's summoned. And broke his board, set up everything, Little Knight double banish, basically. Then I had the destruction as well, so I stopped the my friend from getting any spells back. He just had the Street, and then he lost. So the Runick cards put up a lot of pressure on your opponents, especially because they banish cards as well. And then you don't really think that's much, but it does hit a lot of things randomly. Like even just 10 cards off your opponent's deck is like 1/4 of their deck nowadays, and there's really no way to get it back. Round 5's cash. That's the guy that won the event. I ran no time cards. Would have easily won that match, but I didn't have no time cards. But it's okay. We just got to draw. Did full combo. He couldn't break it, but it's fine. Round 6 was Unchained. The kid was really good. Really good. He was probably one of the only people that didn't allow me to get a single body on board. He would just try to keep breaking it because he knew once I set up 2 bodies, it was just either a sprint or a gigantic, and he knew he really didn't have very much to out it. So he really just knew the strategy and just tried to kill every single level 2. He was even taking out like beavers and anglers, and he really just didn't let me stick a single monster on board, which is really good. Shoutouts to him. Then game 3, I didn't open a single Runick card and just all level 2s, and he just kept popping my stuff. And eventually I ran out of starters and extenders. If I just had 1 Runick spell, I think I would have been able to get it, but it is what it is. You know, I run like 18 Runick spells plus 2 fountains, but it's Yu-Gi-Oh! So I'll take that loss. And then round 7, I played against Denny, 1-2-0. Round 1 set up pretty nasty. If you draw a tip, you draw 3 cards off the fountain instead of 2. So I think I drew a tip that game. I drew 3 cards, and then I drew 3 more cards on his turn, and it was way too much. Then round 2, I had a really good. I guess he kind of bricked, and I opened up Ash and everything else to stop him. So 2-0'd him fairly quickly. That was a little unfair what I did to Denny, but it happens. You know, sometimes you brick. And this deck doesn't break at all. At all. There's no way to break in this deck, I don't think. Even if you don't draw a single Runick spell, you just need level 2s. You just need any level 2s. You need the Angler. I even summon Angler sometimes, and then just summon a blue right on top, because the Sprint will send the second Angler from deck, and you still go full combo. So this deck really doesn't break at all. Not one game did I break and say, wow, I can't actually do anything. So that was my match report. Really good. Like I said, the deck was awesome. I think a lot of people are moving to a certain amount of hand traps. At least Ash and Perms are a lot in the format right now. Just because you can't let a lot of people don't want to allow the Turbulence Resolve to set like 4 cards, and I mean, that's smart. You really can't play through a lot of sets. Luckily, this deck has a lot of inherent spell and trap removal, which a lot of people don't have. Like I said, I did play 42. I might just cut the droplets if I see fit. But as of right now, the droplets are okay. I don't know what I play in place of them. I think I might just cut them both and play 1 Lightning Storm, because that does hit the Rescue Ace matchup, and it does hit the Flu matchup. It does hit a lot of monsters that get put face up, because a lot of people are putting like an IP up every game. So it does really good. So I might end up playing the 1 Lightning Storm in the main versus the 2 droplets, because it's still really good and hits 2 different types of spells and traps and or monsters. So I might do that, but as of right now, how it stands, it was really good. Shout out to everybody, I guess. You know, this deck took me a lot to innovate. You know, like I said, it doesn't seem like much, but to put together this little engine here was quite devastating to a lot of people who didn't know what was coming. And I got a lot of shout outs about it. Everybody was like, man, I can't believe you're playing that. That's really awesome. Like, that's a really innovative deck. And it's just a couple cards in the extra deck, but nobody knew what to explain. And like I said, by the time this resolved, nobody was ever actually bestioling the little succubus or belling or crowing. So it was really good. So, but yeah, shout out to everybody who allowed me, gave me some cards. Shout out to the guy who let me borrow this little knight here. He knows my favorite rarity is not in English, so shout out to him. Great guy. Tests us really well every time we play. He's a really good test partner. Alright guys, but yeah, this is the deck profile. Shout out to everybody. This is Juan from the Autolock signing out.